here we go. 8:35. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting edition of Sarah Stevenson Tuesday Morning Forum. My name is Winston Robinson. I am your facilitator today, along co-facilitators, Ms. Laura McCletty, who is not here, Ms. Carlenia Ivory Canty, who will likely be in shortly, Ms. Jackie Edwards Walton, Ms. Natalie McElworth, our timekeeper, Mr. Shay Abdullah, Mr. Gary Young, Ms. Jasmine Wright, Dr. Thomas Moore, who is also absent, our website editor and archivist, Mr. Steve Johnson, and our chaplain, Ms. Sarita Sheriff. May I mention Ms. Mary Johnson, retiree, is that, officially say it? I mean, because I know you dabble in and out of the substitute every now and then, so can't leave those babies alone. All right, so our forum runs from 8:30 to 9:45 a.m., at which we will pause for announcements from the audience. Announcements also can be sent to Steve at sjohnston, Johnston with a T, at tuesdayforumcharlotte.org. And as always, we begin with a prayer. We will ask Mr. Ken Coombs to lead us in a short acknowledgement.
Come on, Rev.
He knew it was coming, because every week we got
I look forward to it.
They do this every week. And today, I ain't praying for nobody. Oh, anybody in here have faith? I don't care what it is. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. I have faith too. And my faith says to me that God's going to work it out. So today, I ain't praying for nothing. I'm going to let God work it out. Because two things have happened. I'm either praying for the wrong thing, he ain't listening and responding, or I should just go home and go back to sleep. And I'm in one of those go home and go back to sleep moods this morning. Because whatever is out there, he got it. So I'm going to let him have it today. And I'm going to take a moment of silence for those of you who have faith to offer your prayer silently. And perhaps some of the things that I have been praying for just may change. And so with that, let's bow our heads in silence for a moment while you go to your God in your own way. Amen. I will grant you this much. The last line of my prayer was, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
All right, Daddy.
The immortal words of Miss Fannie Lou Hamer. So after that, we will have a moment for silence. When you take out your phone, Miss Carlenia Ivory, and put it on silent. So you won't be the one to disrupt our amazing program that we have today, because we have some wonderful guests. Our guests today we have Dr. Ingrid Medlock, CMS, CMS Family and Community Engagement. People in here, our lead community advocates for CMS. We have Dr. Ingrid Medlock, Chief of Staff. We have Ms. Letitia Hensley. Is it Letitia? Tisha. I'm sorry, I put that. Thinking I was black long enough. All right, Letitia Hensley, Director of Family and Community Engagement, and Ms. Renisha Black, Partnership Specialist. All right, so the rules of our forum. Following the presentation, we will take questions from the audience. Please raise your hand and we will add your name to a list. Questions should be no longer than 30 seconds. Responses no longer than a minute. Also, questions should be questions. The answer you receive is the answer what it is. It is what it is. We don't debate. We don't do back and forth. We have a timekeeper, Ms. Natalie, who will warn you when you're pressing it. Ms. Natalie, show them the signs. 30 seconds time. Jump to the audience too. The audience get a little loose. Yeah, there we go. All right. So, without further ado, well, actually, do we have any first timers in the room? I would love for you to introduce yourselves and any affiliations you would like to acknowledge.
Sure. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good morning.
I am a member of the Muslim community, in particular, Pillars Mosque. I'm also an attorney, but relatively new to North Carolina, so a year and a half in, but just want to participate more. So thank you.
Where you from?
New York City.
All right. Oh, man. What's your name again?
Sharif. Oh. Sharif Hanan.
Sharif Anand from New York City. Anyone else? I'm just going to be on it.
Sorry.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Anik Tiwana. The way you pronounce it is like unique, but with an A. That helps. I've been in Charlotte for about 10 years. I moved here from Detroit, right outside of Detroit, Dearborn, Michigan. And I'm a friend of Sharif and Cole right here. I do live in the neighborhood. I'm in Belmont and want to be more involved. And that's all.
Welcome.
This is not my first time. My name is Nitra Lewis, Charlotte born and raised, and I love these forums because I get to learn more about what's happening in our community.
All right. Good Easter Tuesday speech. That was like nicely done. So without further ado, thank you all for joining us. We will have a presentation. What would say, Steve? 15 minutes? Ms. Natalie?
How long is your presentation? We can get it done.
No, what do you need? That's what we need, the information. About 20? Okay, then we'll go to questions from the audience. Without further ado, CMS Family and Community Engagement.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for responding. Sometimes I say good morning and they just look at you. So I appreciate that. I am Ingrid Medlock and I'm the Chief of Staff and Community Engagement in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools is all about making sure that we give every single child the best education possible. What you see on our screen right now is what we call the CMS Way, or our CMS placemat. This placemat has our mission, vision, our core beliefs, our 4 district goals that the board has set forth for us to accomplish in the next 5 years by the end of 2029 school year. You'll also see the 4 guardrails. The guardrails are the parameters by which we must accomplish those goals. And then underneath, you'll see the 4 pillars of excellence. The 4 pillars of excellence are the foundation of everything that we do in our district. Academic excellence, people excellence, operational excellence, and engagement excellence. So this morning, we're focused on engagement excellence, but you'll hear a little bit about every single one of those pillars and the work that we're doing in those pillars. So let's talk a little bit about our district. This is our executive cabinet. You'll see our superintendent, Dr. Crystal Hill, our deputy superintendent, Dr. Melissa Faulknight, myself. You'll see all of the chiefs of the various departments in our district. These are the leaders in the district that lead the other leaders in the district. I have a team here today that is phenomenal, and my message to them every single time we meet is we are all leaders. So we are trying to make sure that we are building leaders throughout the district, not just in our students, but in our staff as well. We have 11 school performance areas. If you've been in Charlotte for any period of time, you know last school year and years prior, we had 9 learning communities. Well, we have reestablished or reorganized our service delivery model, and now we have 11 performance areas. 3 high school performance areas, 2 middle school performance areas, 1 kindergarten through 8th grade performance area, and 5 elementary performance areas. Over each performance area, we have an assistant superintendent. Those are the faces that you see on the screen right now. Our assistant superintendents are hyper-focused, making sure that our school leaders are hyper-focused on academic and instructional leadership, safety, security, and the well-being of our children. So let's talk a little bit about some statistics. We have a lot to celebrate in our district. We are the second largest district in the state of North Carolina. We are the 16th largest district in the nation, and that's out of almost 13,000 public school districts. For our student population, we have over 141,000 students that we serve, almost 20,000 employees, of which 9,000 approximately are teachers. We have 186 schools. 2 of those schools are new this school year, Knights View Elementary School and Valentine Ridge High School, and then 1 replacement school with Bruns Elementary School. We have the largest school transportation system in North Carolina. We transport over 100,000 students by bus every single day, with 26,500 bus stops, 109,000 daily miles, with an annual average of over 17 million miles. For school nutrition, we serve 115,000 meals per day. We have 113 community eligibility program schools, and those are schools that offer free lunch for our students, in addition to the free breakfast that is served at all of our schools. And as you know, that is federally funded, so we do have some concerns about federal funding. We have approximately 250,000 meals that are served to our children during the summer months. So these are the demographics of our district currently. As you can see, the majority of our students are Black and Hispanic. We have 24% of our students that are white, 7% that are Asian, and less than 1% are Pacific Islander and American Indian. 175 countries are represented in our district, with over 146 native languages spoken. The top 5 languages now in our district are Spanish, Russian, Vietnamese, French, and Portuguese. So we're very diverse. So let's talk a little bit about performance in our district. We are excellence ready. When we talk about excellence, we have to discuss our absolutely wonderful teachers. We are currently 99% staff in our district as it relates to classroom instructors. In regard to our operations and technology, we have state-of-the-art safety, evolve detectors in our schools, SROs, behavior management technicians, obviously assistant principals and principals. We have our own CMS police department. And then as it relates to technology, you'll hear a little bit more this morning, but we are a one-to-one district. So all of our students have access to technology. For family and community engagement, you're going to hear a lot about that this morning from Mrs. Hensley, but I just want to give you some numbers. Since August, we've had 38 Family Academy sessions. That includes Family Academy meetings and coffee and conversations. We've had 4 Title I advisory committee meetings. We've had 3 parent leadership quarterly meetings. We've had 4,903 touch points with our families, 534 touch points with Title I advisory, 131 touch points with parent leaders. We have 255 school-based parent leadership support persons. We have 9,919 touch points or subscribers as it relates to our newsletter. And finally, that is a total of 15,742 touch points with our parents and our community members, and that deserves applause. It does. You deserve applause. You'll hear from Letitia Hensley and her team in just a moment. I'm very excited about how we're engaging with our community and parents. For professional development, we have our summer leadership conference. We have our Capturing Kids' Hearts training and Crown Academy for our beginning teachers and teachers who are new to Charlotte. We also have what we call the Crown Experience training for all of our leaders and all of our staff in the district to improve upon customer service experience. And then, of course, in all of our schools, we have PD being offered. Again, we are all about recruiting, retaining, and developing the talent of all of the staff and teachers that come into our district. We have new curriculum resources in math, English language arts, and science. This is aligned with our goals, and you'll hear more about those goals and the targets for what we need to accomplish by the end of the 2029 school year. And so the last goal is all about making sure that every student in our district graduates either enrolled, enlisted, or employed, or seeking entrepreneurial opportunities. In technology, as I stated earlier, we have a one-to-one district. All kindergarten through second grade students have iPads. Our 3rd through 12th grade students have Chromebooks. We have a dedicated webpage for family support, seamless learning access through our CMS Launchpad, and then of course, our students are able to take home their devices as long as the students and parents agree to all of the guidelines that are in place for the care of those devices. When we talk about safety, we want to talk about the specific training that's offered in our district to all of our school administrators and all of our staff. Annually, we are required to participate in safety training. Our schools must have walk-through security scanners, K-8, middle schools, and high schools. We have active survival trainings that's required for all CMS staff. We know that that is something we definitely do not want to have to experience, but there is a saying, be ye also ready. So we want to be ready and prepared to keep our children and our staff safe should we have an emergency situation. We have the lobby guard visitor management system. So when you go into a building, you must sign in. And you'll notice in our newer buildings, there is almost I call it a holding area. They buzz you in. You actually have to push a button to enter. All school safety plans are updated annually and reviewed and approved by district leadership, school leadership, and the board. And the district is in constant partnership with our CMS Police Department, along with all of our other law enforcement agencies that serve our schools. So, what can we celebrate? Let's talk about some highlights. In 2023-24, we passed a historic $2.5 billion bond referendum, thanks to you. This bond referendum allows us to construct and renovate 30 new schools. That is the largest bond referendum in state history. So congratulations to the Charlotte community. We've also developed 5-year goals and guardrails in partnership with the board. We've developed and launched a 5-year strategic plan. In addition to that, we have a 1-year annual plan for each of those 5 years to make sure we are on track and on target to reach our goals. We received 2 fully funded budgets from our Board of County Commissioners, and we are hoping and anticipating it will be funded again. We've offshed $190 million in federal funding and did not have to lay off one employee, not one. That deserves an applause as well. We have some neighboring districts that are currently talking about how they need to reduce their force. We have not had to do that at all in Charlotte, and we're hoping that that will continue. We have restructured our service delivery model. We talked about that already, from 9 learning communities to 11. We also have specialists and targeted instructional support from the district into each of our schools. And then, of course, we have a system of accountability and transparency, where we are monitoring our progress And for all of our goals and all of the work that we do in the district, it's pretty impressive. Our graduation rate in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools rose to 84%. We have raised the graduation rate of our Hispanic students by 4.4 percentage points to 75.2%, which is the highest graduation rate for our Hispanic students in the last 6 years. The graduation rate for our Black students is 83.4%, Asian students 94.3%, white students 93%, two or more races 86.4%. So we are in a positive trajectory to reaching our goal of at least 90% by the end of this school year. We are number 20 out of 115 public school districts in North Carolina for having our schools that met or exceeded growth. So 146 schools met or exceeded growth, which is the highest number in CMS history for meeting or exceeding growth. 63 schools met or exceeded growth for the last 2 years, and 32 schools met or exceeded growth for the last 3 years. So what do I mean by meeting or exceeding growth? Take just 30 seconds to look at this chart. You'll see all of the tested areas along the side. And then you see each column is a school year. That first column is the school year prior to the pandemic. You'll notice red means did not meet growth. That means the children in that particular subject area did not grow an equivalent of 1 year of mastery in that particular content area, okay? If you go from the year prior to the pandemic to this past school year, what do you notice? Just shout it out. What do you see? Is it red? Is it blue? Is it green? Okay, he cussed. Okay. It's blue, which exceeds growth in every single tested area, okay, for last school year, with the exception of 8th grade science. And even in that area, we met growth. You should be proud of your local school district and the children and the teachers. So now let's break it down by student groups. It takes a minute to understand what you're looking at here. So let me break it down for you. You have the student groups by, you see first the ethnicity, then you see AIG, which is academically gifted. EDS stands for economically disadvantaged students. ML or multilingual learners, and then SWD stands for students with disabilities. You see a comparison here for 22-23 school year and the 23-24 school year. Along the top, you will see the subject areas: reading, math, science. Underneath those subject areas, you see the actual standardized test. EOG stands for end of grade. EOC stands for end of course, which is your secondary, middle high school standardized test. And then you see the overall. Look in the overall column under science. 22-23. You'll see a couple, well, 3 green, we met, and then the rest is blue. That's 22-23. 23-24, all blue, except for one student group, which was students with disabilities. That's for science. If you look at math, you'll see the overall there. We really had a couple of areas, a couple of student groups, Black students, and economically disadvantaged students that did not meet growth in math in 22-23. In 23-24, the only group that did not meet growth are our AIG students. So we've got to work harder there. In reading, Overall, and this speaks to why we have the goals we have now. In 22-23, everyone exceeded growth in reading overall, except for our students with disability. But in 23-24, we notice again, AG students did not meet growth. And then we have our Black students and our multiracial students who met growth but did not exceed. What does all of this mean? It means that we have work to do in reading, we have work to do in our 8th grade science, and with our AG students. So for K2 literacy, we have exceeded state and national averages, but we still need to keep moving. 22,000 of our K2 students are at or above benchmark in early literacy. We are narrowing the achievement gaps that exist between Black and Hispanic students and other student groups. We have double-digit increases in early literacy for our Hispanic and Black students. Our Hispanic students came up 12 percentage points. Our Black students came up 13.5 percentage points from 22 through 24. 108 schools earned a letter grade of A, B, or C. 33 of those schools improved their school letter grade. So these are the goals. Look carefully, because we can't do this by ourselves. We are here to present to you, not for you to just say, good job, or you gotta do better. We are here because we need for you to join in with us. It does take a village. It will always take a village. So to be able to move our kindergarten through 2nd grade students from 67% proficiency to 91% proficiency by June 2029, we need you to partner with us. To be able to increase the percent of our students scoring at levels 4 or 5, which is college or career ready, from 31% to 50% by 29, we need you to partner with us. To increase the percent of students scoring 4 or 5 in Math 1, so that we can move the babies from 27% to 57%, the charge is we need you to partner with us. And then finally, to make sure every student graduates enrolled, enlisted, or employed from 72% to 85%, which we're already at 84%, if you recall what I already told you. We still need you to partner with us. These are, again, are the pillars of excellence. That's the foundation of what we do. If you want to hear more, see more, read more, please go to the website, review the strategic plan, look at how we're monitoring our progress and the accountability that we have for ourselves. This is our way of being transparent with all of you in the community, parents, students, all of our community members. And we don't have just a district level strategic plan. Every school has a school improvement plan. Every department in our district has an annual plan. So everything is aligned. All of the work that we do is focused on those 4 goals. So, with all of that information I just shared, and I know that was a lot to take in, basically I want to let you know what we're committed to. We are committed to educating every single child, not just academically, but the whole child. We are committed to improving our employee experience. We are committed to being operationally efficient and effective. And we are so committed to being collaborative and inclusive, to being partners with you, to making sure you have the best customer service experience possible. So join us. Join us in being future-focused, community-driven partners in education. Make sure that you're helping us to provide endless possibilities. Help us to provide that caring and safe and secure and equitable environment for our children. Please partner with us. And now I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Hensley so she can dig deeper with you about celebrating community engagement.
Well, thank you, Dr. Medlock. Once again, Letitia Hensley, Director for Family and Community Engagement. On the screen, you see some of our team members today. And of course, the amazing work that we're leading couldn't be done without them. And so if you're a part of this team, just raise your hand. We have Dr. Yolanda Holmes, who's a part of the family engagement team, Ms. Robin Brown, as well as Ms. Molly Rush. Our other specialist, Ms. Madeline Cueto, is not here with us today, but also she serves an important role on this team. And we're under the leadership of our executive director, Ms. Shakita Lloyd. So thank you, Ms. Lloyd. So I just want to start off a little bit by talking about family engagement and exactly what does that mean. Much of the work that we follow in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools is under the research of Dr. Karen Knapp from Harvard Graduate School of Education. And so when we think about family engagement, as Dr. Medlock mentioned, it is an equitable, full, equal partnership, not just with the school districts, but also with our families and the wider community. Once again, we need you to truly make that impact in the lives of our students as they continue throughout Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, but exit into the real world. So it is a two-way process, and our goal today is to share a little bit about what we're doing, and also we're always open to feedback on how we can work together to continue to strengthen this work. We know what the research says about family engagement. When families are engaged in their child's learning, we know attendance improves, grades improve. We know it's one of the strongest predictors of our children's success. When we're talking about their cognitive abilities, social, their emotional development, starting from birth all the way throughout their adolescence. So you may wonder, what is it that you do as a department? So on the screen, you can see some of the things that we do. This is not everything, but just a quick highlight of what we do as a Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools Family and Community Engagement Department. Our goal is, number one, to establish and maintain those strong connections. We're looking for ongoing opportunities to partner with our wider community. Not necessarily just a one and done, but how do we continue that collaboration? We look towards working towards fostering those positive relationships, engaging all stakeholders to support student success. So although engagement excellence is one of those key pillars, we know that engagement excellence is going to help with academic excellence. It's going to help with all of those other pillars. We are committed to supporting our schools with creating an inclusive environment where families, our community, they feel valued, they feel heard, and they want to actively engage in the educational process. You may have seen us out in the community, and we're doing our due diligence to be there even more. Our goal is to continue to organize events, to host workshops to support that parent education, to help parents and the community understand how to navigate in and through Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, things that are going to promote family engagement, address issues raised by families and community members. We are there to provide resources and support service to enhance the overall educational experience for our students. As Dr. Medlock mentioned, we are looking to support the whole child, the whole family, as we continue to strengthen this work. So here on the screen is a flyer that you may have seen in the community. If you haven't seen it, don't worry. Our team is out there posting this information everywhere possible where our community frequents. We launched this year one of our new initiatives, which is called Family Academy. This is an opportunity for families to engage virtually, in person, and even engage with on-demand opportunities to learn more about one of those 6 pillars that are listed there in this screen. So some of the things that we share with families include understanding financial well-being. We're supporting families with understanding what is it that our students are learning? What are these assessments our students are taking? How can we support that academic excellence? How can we navigate such a large district? How do we just kind of support those life and leadership skills as families and continue to support our students there? And so those are some of the examples of the sessions that we are hosting through our Family Academy initiative. We've had several CMS departments partner with us, over 16 CMS departments partner with us. We've had over 16 community organizations lead sessions just to engage our families, to ensure that they have the resources and the tools to continue to support the overall family and child. This QR code on the screen will take you to our webpage where you'll be able to see some of those sessions that are on demand. So you can access those at any time, any place. You can use your mobile device. You can use any device that you want to be able to access those sessions. And those are broken down by the focus areas. We did also bring some cards for you to be able to access the QR code. So be sure to get one of those before you leave, and we'll be sure to pass those out. But we want you to stay connected, and on those cards, we do have our department's email address for you to feel free to reach out to us at any time that you would like. One thing we are also most excited about is every year we have our annual back to school celebration for our district. We partner with our community partners as well as our Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools departments to create an amazing event to kick off the school year each year. We have resources that we have provide for families. Students will have school supplies, book bags, you name it. We're going to be ready. And this year we're going to be more than ever ready because we have selected a larger venue because we've grown each year we've done this. We've maxed out capacity at our venues. So this year we will be at Truist Field, home of the Charlotte Knights, on Saturday, August 9th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And we want you to bring all of your students that are enrolled in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools to come in, learn more about how to kick off the year strong. We want all of our families to feel confident and ready to go. We don't want anyone to have any questions about the start of the school year. Free food, parking is not a problem. We got you covered there. We got public transportation for you. If you need that, we have you covered there. And more information will continue to be shared out as we continue to share about the back to school event. We will also have colleges and universities that will be represented there. And we will also have employers there to be able to support our students and our families. So we want to see you there. Please come and support us at that event. So these are the cards that we have for you. Once again, it has our email address, it has our QR code, and our counterparts, our strategic partnerships information is also on that other side of that card. But our goal is to partner with you and to support our students, our families, whatever we need to do to ensure that that experience is a wonderful experience for everyone. So thank you for your time today.
And I'm going to be quick. I am Renisha Black. I am very pleased to represent the Strategic Partnerships team today. We are led by Mr. Keitha Lloyd. She is our executive director. Damon Willis serves as our director, and Stacy Moretti is our project manager. Myself, Carlenia Ivory Canty. Raise your hand, please. Sorry. And Rick Martin and Jennifer Parker, we are all the specialists, and Anna Brown represents our volunteer department. So as far as our department, our goal is to match school needs with community partners. And in doing so, we create shared goals with the hope of creating mutually beneficial partnerships that produces student outcomes. Here is our impact thus far. We have over 478 community partners. 140 of those have MOUs or memorandums of understanding, and they provide programs or services that support things like tutoring, mentoring, or mental health support. We've had over $1.1 million in in-kind donations, and this can be food, clothing, and other resources that help our students and family. In that, we've had $14.7 million in monetary values provided from our community partners such as you. We know we would love community partners, but we know the foundation of our success is our volunteers. So far, we have over 38,000 volunteers, registered volunteers. Over 8,000 are active volunteers with a total of 145,000 volunteer hours. which equates to $4.9 million. So we have the support, but we always are looking for more. So we know you're asking, how can you partner with us? And we've made it easy for you. We have 3 easy steps for you to partner. You simply connect and explore with us. That means meeting with myself, Rick, Jennifer, and we will help you explore how you can connect with us, how you can support the students and families in schools that are requesting whatever services or programs you're providing. Then we apply and align that memorandum of understanding. That is something that all of our community partners have to do. And so we help walk you through that process. And then we introduce you to the school and help build that mutually beneficial partnership. But what if you're already a partner and you're looking to expand? We made that easy too. It's 3 easy steps as well. You're going to just simply look at what you're doing already, and we can help you find additional schools that might need that support as well. And then we're going to plan and propose. You're going to do an addendum to that memorandum of understanding, or we will create a new one. And then you're going to go ahead and implement that program at those particular schools. Volunteers, we said we need you. We need your support. We've made that simple too. This is on our website, all the requirements and the steps that you need to become a volunteer. When you volunteer, safety is very important to us. You will either have 1 to 4 levels of clearance. The first level is we want all parents to have access to their children in school. Level 2 means, I can't see that far, I'm gonna be honest with you. Supervised access without driving. Level 3 is unsupervised access without driving. Level 3 is when we're gonna need a little bit more additional information. It's just not that basic birthday and your name. We're gonna need your social security number, and then you can get a level 3. To be a level 4, which is the unsupervised access with driving, we're gonna need some liability insurance. But once you go to the process, you will find out which level you are cleared for. So, what are our needs? That's the whole reason why you're here today. Here is one of our most important upcoming needs, and that is to proctor. We need thousands of proctors throughout the county, and that is one of our needs that we need right now. But we also have teacher appreciation, which is coming up in 2 weeks. And our department hosts a quarterly meeting, and that is May 15th. We would love to see you there to find out more work of what we've done and how you can support that. That was that quick. Oh, and back to school event, August the 9th. Oh, we need donations and sponsorships. Yes, we do. All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Good old Southern Baptist 20 minutes. Before we go to questions, I absolutely must acknowledge Doug, Miss Carlinia, Sylvia. So these are our CMS folk who advocate for CMS weekly. They are ours. They belong to the Morning Forum. They come here, they contribute, and they do it when you're not looking. So shout out to those folks in the room. Again, me and Miss Carlinia and I are in different meetings and random places all over the city. She is just as strong in her advocacy for CMS and CMS programming. We're going to start with questions. Mr. Ken Coons.
Wow. What's a presentation? Y'all know how to put on a presentation. I knew that. I was noticing in the initial presentation of who all these heads were. And from what I saw, DEI works pretty good in Charlotte. My question is more in regards to the issue of black-white student achievements. And I saw Charlotte-Mecklenburg, was that accurate? We only have 24% of our total student population is white?
Yes, 24%.
Wow.
Where'd they go?
All right, we have a question from Ms. Jackie Edwards-Walton.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming. You indicated that we have 80+ % of folk who are graduating, students who are graduating. What does graduation mean? I mean, is that I passed all my classes as a senior with a D, and I have a 1.0 GPA?
So, first of all, thank you for your question, and if I can take just one point of privilege, one of our board members just walked in, Monty Witherspoon. Thank you so much.
Also, another Tuesday morning alumnus, Dr. Monty Witherspoon, welcome back. You blew up and left us behind, but that's all right. We're good to see you again.
Yes. So, to your question, when we talk about graduation rate, the state defines that as a 4-year graduate. Obviously, if you pass the class, it could be with D's, it could be with C's, but if you pass, you graduate, right? And get the number of credits needed. If I'm not mistaken, they decreased the credit requirement to 22. They just decreased it. So, yes, ma'am, if you graduate within 4 years with passing grades, you are considered a graduate of any high school in North Carolina. Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'm going to use my point of privilege to kind of paint a picture and ask the question. When I was in high school, I wasn't a good student and all, and I was in Spanish 1 for all 4 of those years. Not because I'm dumb, but I utilized it as an elective because I translated elective as wasn't necessary, right? And that is the class that would allow me to go to all 3 lunches. It was amazing. But as an adult, I realized that there's a contextual gap between understanding the importance of being bilingual and knowing what that is. So as an adult with a son in a language immersion school, I see him struggling with the idea of what is it all for. And as I look at his yearbook, he's in 2nd grade now, and the school goes to 8th grade. There are fewer and fewer black kids per grade level. And from a programmatic standpoint or a partnership standpoint, I would love to take kids who don't understand that level of context abroad, or even Puerto Rico, so they can see people who look like them, and when they realize there's a language gap, there is, a different attitude when approaching learning. How lofty would that be?
You asked how lofty would that be? It sounds like.
Could it happen? Can I take a school full of kids, to Puerto Rico even, if they're trouble getting passports, or just create an experience where they understand that this is bigger than America can keep you here.
So you're talking about trips abroad, right? International trips. Typically those trips occur with our high schoolers, and of course there is a policy for that. So I would invite you to visit the website, go to the Board of Education page, visit the policies, look up international travel for students. If you have the funding for that, in other words, if you're saying, hey, I'm going to pay for all of the 2nd graders or at whatever school to go on an international trip, you would need to follow the policy guidelines to do so. Typically, that's not going to happen at the elementary level. And if I'm not mistaken, it may be in the policy that way, that these types of international trips occur at the high school level. I'm not gonna say you can't do it, because that's not my jurisdiction. The board dictates exactly what we can and can't do through policy. So visit the policy, and you can go from there. But thank you for even offering. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I just want it done. I'm just hypothetical.
Can I say this though? Without even traveling abroad, I mean, we just talked about how many languages we have. Wow. Sorry, y'all. Let me go this way. So look at this. You have 175 countries represented in the district. 146 native languages spoken in the district by students. This is what we're talking about, by students. And you have the 5 top languages right there. I guarantee you, if our If our school district is that diverse, you know our community is. So certainly there should be some field experiences or field trips that our children can go on that will help them contextually understand why it's important to learn another language, right? So I love your idea. It is lofty, but could that not occur right here?
That's the answer.
That's the answer you have to, yeah. It could happen right here, right here.
Okay.
All right, we have Gary, and then we have Sharif.
All right, good morning. Question was going to surround ed systems. Ed is a constant with systems here in Charlotte. There's always this grasp want to go outside the community to bring things in, to bring programming, etc. So I guess I'll deviate the question to be around what type of partnerships are you looking to fill the void on from a programming standpoint, enhancement of partnerships, etc.
Do you have a program in particular you're asking about?
I mean, I have a plethora being from Charlotte and the CMS grad, but I'm just looking to understand your strategic. I'm just looking to understand your strategic.
I'm also a native, Charlotte native as well, and a CMS graduate. But we have a whole host of different types of programs. I mean, I can't tell you, there's so many, I cannot even tell you how many different types of programs. I would encourage you to reach out to either myself, Rick, or Jennifer Parker, and we can help you explore where the program might be needed or what supports you might need, and we can help you figure out how to.
I said, what needs we gotta have?
Well, let me, can I jump in?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me say this. I just showed you some data, right? I want every baby, when they leave kindergarten, go first, second grade, I want them reading, and I want them reading well, and understanding what they read, right? So right now, we're expanding high dosage tutoring. Right now, we have oral reading fluency tutoring, comprehension, word decoding. We need tutors. We need tutors. We need you all to volunteer or get your community group, civic group organization together, get with Renisha, Rick, Jennifer, and say, we want to adopt a school. We want to go in and we want to read for 30 minutes with students. Or we want to follow whatever protocol you all have for us to tutor to make sure these babies can read when they leave the grade that they're in. Not just to, notice I didn't say to pass the test. Okay? I didn't say that. I need our children to be literate and be proud of that. Because if you can read, you can do anything. So what do we need? We need you all to be in the schools, working with the children, mentoring, tutoring, partnering with every child from kindergarten through 12th grade. Someone reached out to me recently about youth violence. Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry. So, the district cannot fix youth violence in the Charlotte community by ourselves, right? You cannot fix youth violence in Charlotte by yourself. It's going to take, what is my word? A village. All of the law enforcement agencies, the politicians, our boards, all of the leaders, the staff, the teachers, the parents. We've got to all come together. Every single child should have at least one adult that they can say they care. They care about me and my future. I am sorry.
Oh, I'm just gonna take a point of privilege here. Ms. Carlina Avery has been going to community meetings. I've been there, and she's been recruiting, communities, neighborhood associations, and neighborhood groups to come into the schools also to tutor. Okay.
And Gary, you were at the meeting.
That's one part.
Wait a minute, let's move on. We're gonna move on now. Sharif, come on, we don't do this. We don't do this. Come on, don't worry about it.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the presentation. You're right, I certainly agree that it takes a village to take care of our kids. But I have to be real, without safety, I don't think any of this can be possible. On March 7th, 2025, at Ardrey Cal, there was a football player who literally bashed in a 15-year-old girl's face breaking multiple bones, causing permanent eye damage. And amidst all of this, there was serious allegations of misogyny, xenophobia, and Islamophobia. What happened in the 3 or so hours from this incident, which happened in math class, somehow in that 3 hour span, a decision was made to suspend students for 2 weeks. The school did not call the ambulance on their own. In fact, based on the report, the ambulance was only called after the parents of the girl came to the school and demanded that the ambulance be called. And we also know that there's surveillance footage, which is all very useful and interesting in this village that we live in. To be able to have transparency in that village and to discuss in this village would be really great to have. I know that just from my community, 1,000 emails have been sent. We filled the school board town hall, and it's nice to have these spaces where we can talk about our feelings and share and get a really lovely dashboard with colors and all that sort of stuff. But what's the point of any of this if CMS can't have the wherewithal to have an independent review when it's needed, release redacted video footage, which doesn't have any issue with student privacy or anything like that, and let us know what happened. Because the way it seems right now, it just kind of seems like it's like, hey, let's wait and see until this dies down, and then maybe no one will notice, and then we'll go back to normal. So if you can address some of these points, I'd appreciate it.
Made exception, but our questions are usually 30
We,
seconds.
we gave you first time of grace. We let you just keep freestyle.
Okay.
Thank you.
So let's keep it to 30
Yes.
seconds.
So Sharif, thank you. Thank you so much for your question. Thank you for your comments. And I also want to say thank you to the community, everyone that comes out to our board meetings and has the opportunity to share their thoughts, opinions, comments, all of that. That is extremely important. I wish that we could share all the things that occurred, the process, all of that. I wish we could go into detail. Unfortunately, that is not possible. But what I can tell you is all of the protocols were followed in the district. And I can tell you that we are all about safety for our children, regardless of their background, regardless of their beliefs, their ethnicity, their gender, all of that. So safety is first and foremost in our district. This is why we have our own police department. This is why we have processes and procedures in place. I know it may be hard for you to believe that what I'm saying is true, but when I tell you that everything was done as protocol requires, and that all that we could do as adults in that situation to keep her safe and to keep all of our students safe was followed. And I would say also that if there are any questions from either parent, then of course the parents are more than welcome to sit down with our principal, sit down with our police department, sit down with the assistant superintendent, district leaders. If the parents wish to do that, they can schedule a meeting to do that. But everything that was supposed to have occurred in that situation in response to what occurred between those two students was followed. A fair investigation was done from the school level to the CMS police department, even to the FBI going through all of those investigative materials. So it's unfortunate that we are still having to address this and actually stay within our guidelines legally regarding what we can disclose and what we cannot.
That was the best non-answer I've ever
Okay.
Whoa. We ran out of privilege with the question. So we gotta move on.
No, it wasn't.
The answer you received is the answer you gotta accept.
That was said at the beginning, we don't debate.
First time, sorry, I
I know.
apologize.
But do come back, because the next time we're gonna stick you to the rule.
Okay, I want to thank you, panelists, and everyone present today. Okay, I want to thank the panelists and everyone who's present today. Enrolled, enlisted, employed. How focused are you on entrepreneurial aspects of those folk who desire that other E?
I love that question.
Entrepreneurial.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love that question. Please know that when we say employed, we are also including the entrepreneurial spirit in there. We have, again, is it Gary? Gary said, how can we partner? Well, what do y'all need? Well, we need entrepreneurs who want to come in and mentor our students. We need you all to come in for that type of engagement with our children. Several of our schools have career days. We have several partners with MOUs who are considered entrepreneurs that work with our children all of the time. And then, I don't know if you've heard of Generation Nation, but Generation Nation really covers the gamut of all of our high schools, where our high school students are represented, and they are learning more and more about how to impact their community through civics, but also by learning how they can grow their own entrepreneurial spirit in the process of doing so. So yes, we are definitely including the entrepreneurial aspect in the employment piece. So it's enrolled, enlisted, employed, and in parentheses, entrepreneurship is in there as well.
All right, we have Derek, Mr. Arnell, Ms. Judith Brown, then Gerald Pat.
So can we try to keep it to 30 seconds? If you could try to keep your answers to 1 to 2 minutes at that.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Robert Collins. I am an entrepreneur. And first thing I'd like to say is thank you, Ms. Carly. She has taken me around to some CMS schools. I'm I'm a motivational speaker, also an author, and I do speak at schools, and so Ms. Carlene has been taking me around so I can get better acclimated with CMS. I'm from Chicago originally, so I can't say I'm a CMS graduate like you.
Remember 30 seconds for your question.
I'll make like 25 seconds. My question is this. My children were registered in CMS 2 years ago, but no longer. How long are you active as a volunteer once you're registered?
You have to renew every year. But it's very simple. You just go in and click if you accept the requirements. So yeah, you can come back. And you're actually probably included in that number, that 38,000. You're just not active. So yes, please come back.
All right, we have Mr. Arnell. Then Judith Brown.
Good morning. I'm a product of CMS, graduate of West Charlotte High School, class of 69, and then was a PE teacher, assistant principal. My question, which your presentation is excellent and the results that you're getting, are you concerned about charter schools? Because there is not that accountability that I'm hearing of charter schools. And there's one in particular, one was a high school. Next time I went, they had added a middle school. And next time I went, they had added an elementary school. They are thriving. Are you concerned about charter schools? Because CMS has to have so much accountability for its teachers and its program and your, what's happening there in terms of funds and money? Because you say your budget was met and you got what you needed from the county.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that question. So what I will say is, when we lose students to charter schools, we lose the money that goes with them, right? So yes, that is definitely a concern because the charter schools currently are not held to the same accountability standards as public schools are. And that is extremely concerning now that they have increased what they're calling opportunity scholarships or vouchers, right? So we're concerned, But at the same time, we are feeling so good about the work that's currently being done in our district. We are on, as I showed, an upward trajectory. We have a wonderful chief communications officer and a communications team that's working on the marketing piece, along with our student assignment, student placement, student program departments that are making sure that we're getting the word out about all of the offerings that we have in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools that several, if any of the charter schools truly can offer to our children. So yes, we are heavily campaigning to bring back the babies that have gone to charter schools. We want them to come back and return to our district. So yes, there is concern, and we also have a plan in place to make sure that we're bringing them back and hopefully not losing any more to the charter schools. But I will tell you, if you've been paying attention to the news, Charlotte is fast growing, right? So as we lose students, we're gaining students. As we lose students, we're gaining students because people are swiftly moving to the area. So yes, we do have some concern, but we definitely have a plan to address it.
All right, Ms. Nathalie, we still have about 8 questions, and I know our panelists have to be out of here before 10, so iron fist. We have Ms. Judith Brown next.
Good morning. Thank you for your presentation. Judith Brown of Project 704. I want to, and I know this could take a whole lot longer, so we'll keep the questions short. As a person with a disability who raised 2 sons on the autism spectrum, given our current federal level of change, what is your strategic plan to increase the success rates and numbers for children with disabilities in the school as we're losing our other supports?
Thank you for that question. So yes, we have the same concerns that you have in regard to funding, but what I will tell you is that we have an incredible, exceptional education department led by Dr. Heather Lemons. She has come into Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools and just wowed us with how she has restructured the support within the district for our EC teachers and students to receive the instruction that is needed. What I will tell you about our service delivery model is that we are not going to leave any child behind. So students, any student with any disability whatsoever, and including students who may have a 504 plan, we are making sure that we are meeting their needs, personalizing their learning, following the IEP as it's written, and making sure that we're engaging with the parents so that they know exactly how those needs are going to be met for each individual child. But we are very much so aware of what's happening, just as concerned as our parents are, but we are not going to leave any of our children behind. We're going to make sure that they have the interventions that they need.
Mr. Gerald Petty.
Good morning. Thank you again for coming. Quick question. You may not be able to define it within the time parameters, but can you explain, based on what's going on in our current administration and elimination of the Department of Education,
Gerald, hold the mic up.
The difference between Title I and Title II schools, and why are the majority of those schools typically located in marginalized communities in Charlotte?
So we have Title I schools. Title II is not in that same category, okay? Title I schools basically are schools that have a population that are eligible for free and or reduced lunch, a larger population that are eligible for free and reduced lunch. And I'm sorry, what was your question?
It seems as though that there's a large percentage of those schools located in our marginalized communities.
Mm-hmm.
And what is CMS doing to make sure that that is balanced across our entire community and not in localized areas?
Yeah. So I'm not sure if we have control over whether or not a title, let me say it like this. If the school population meets a certain eligibility guideline, that's what makes the school a Title I school, okay? And typically you'll notice the majority of the students qualify for free and or reduced lunch, okay? We don't really have control over the dynamics of the community with which the school sits. So I don't know if we are the ones that would be able to change, whether or not a school is Title I. It really is dependent on the population that school serves. Does that make sense? You want to add to that, Jay?
All right, we have Hannah, then we have Rick, then we have Jackie, and I have a question.
If there's time.
Hello, okay. Hi, my question is, you had briefly mentioned behavioral technicians or behavioral experts in your schools. So how many do you have? Do you have one per school? And how are you guys analyzing when those behavioral experts need to step in and work with your kids? What data are you using? Are you finding any patterns with your students so we can really get to the root of the youth violence?
I love that question, and I don't want to give inaccurate information. I know that the majority of our schools have behavior management technicians, which are BMTs. We call them BMTs. I don't want to sit here and say every single school has one, though. I don't want to say that because it depends on the allotments that the principal has and how the principal uses their staffing allotment, right? Can we get that question so that we can make sure we can give her accurate information? Because I love that. One more time, you want, how are we looking at the patterns of the data as it relates to student disciplinary issues? Is that what you're asking?
Hannah, if you write it down, I'll make sure they get it.
I would appreciate it. Can you write that question down? Because I want to get that information.
We'll make sure you get it. Rick.
Because we do track, by the way. We do track our data as it relates to discipline for students. Mm-hmm.
What is the starting salary for a classroom teacher?
I believe at this point it's maybe $42,000, which is well below the cost of living here in Charlotte. Well below. I also can tell you that when you reach 25 years of experience, you don't see another move in your salary. When you hit 15 years of experience, you don't really see a lot of change in your salary. Right now, teacher pay is a huge issue in the state of North Carolina. Huge issue. So I'm glad you asked that question because I'm gonna ask you all to advocate to increase teacher pay by emailing, calling, talking to the legislators about their budget and what they're putting in for how much teachers are being paid each and every day. It is sad. It's sad, which makes me really applaud the teachers even more because they're not doing it for the money. They're doing it because this is hard work. Hard work.
All right, Cole.
Hey guys, thank you. Thank you so much for taking my question. This might be best addressed to Ms. Letitia. Of all the points of contact you mentioned with parents, how many are Spanish speaking? Does it correlate with the percentage of Hispanic students? How do you meaningfully communicate with these parents regarding the new climate of fear regarding immigration?
Thank you so much, and thank you for your question. As I mentioned before, we have a team of specialists that are out there in the community supporting our families, which are very diverse families. One of our specialists, Ms. Medlock, is well known in the community, does a great job of connecting with our Spanish-speaking families. All of our materials are translated in various languages, so all of the information, the posters, the flyers are translated in Spanish as well as the top languages. As far as the data, that is a great question, and I would love to get that information back to you. I don't have that with me today, but great question. And then I'm sorry, I may have missed another question. You gave me like 4 or 5.
I guess, yeah, I'm sorry about that. How do you meaningfully engage with these families about the new climate of fear regarding immigration?
So our district has released information around that. We are happy to connect our families to community organizations that can provide additional information on how to best support them with some of those new policies that have been put into place.
And we
I'll
do
get
have.
the details afterwards.
Say that again.
I'll get the details afterwards of what you mentioned. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I have that question. The question you had is, does the information we're presenting, does it correlate to the number of Spanish-speaking families within the district?
Sure. And also the resources that you mentioned at the end.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think, I just want to interject here. I think one of the issues is, can ICE come into a school and pick up a child? You know, that's mainly what they are concerned about.
Oh, once again,
there's a policy where they cannot just come in and.
So once again, our district and our administrators at our school have been well versed in what we can legally do. And we are following all statutes, state statutes and federal statutes, federal laws, as it relates to immigration policy.
So they can't just come in.
Yeah, exactly. Let me say this. No law enforcement officer, for any reason, can just walk into a school and say, give me this child.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Yes, so let's be real clear about that. They have to follow a certain protocol. Okay, so I just.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Jackie.
Can I just add, we also have a working group of community partners who are supporting us in that effort. If you're interested in joining that effort, we will meet on May 15th. And it's a whole host of different partners, community partners who are supporting our immigrant families.
Thank you. Can you repeat the name of the woman that you mentioned who's the outreach person?
Madeline Cueto.
Madeline Cueto, thank you.
C-U-E-T-O.
Yes, can you talk any about the strategy for the dismantling of the education department and how you think that may impact some students returning to CMS with the opportunity grants that are statewide?
So right now, I don't see a direct impact to Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools with the dismantling of the education department. The work that we are doing will continue. We have an awesome superintendent for the state of North Carolina, Mo Green, who has laid out a beautiful plan for us moving forward as it relates to the opportunity grants or vouchers. I think parents need to realize that they may want to take their child to a private school and say, here, I have this opportunity grant, this voucher. And that school can literally say, that's wonderful, but we don't want you, right? So I think what people fail to realize is just because you receive the voucher doesn't mean the school is gonna take you. Public schools, we welcome everybody. You can have a voucher to go to any private school you want to, but the private schools can look at you and say, no, thank you. We don't want your child. Who would want to take their child to that type of institution? So, again, as I stated earlier, we have some concern about that, but we have a plan in place for marketing, strategy, to make sure that we keep the babies that we have, and that we welcome those that have left us to come on back, because we have what they need.
All right, I'm gonna close it out with the final question. There's a sentiment nationally that includes CMS that kind of feels like black kids get tested, white kids get taught. And in that vein, I wanted to know, what are pipelines established for kids that show acumen, a natural ability in, let's say, math, but just don't have the interest in social studies or science? So they might read, or the way they present via the paperwork, you know, the GPA doesn't tell the full story. And in a world where we're all connected and we can find with much precision pathways for a child that showcases acumen in certain areas, even without the other levels of criteria throughout the schedule, that we can point this child in a very redeemable space or direction.
Thank you for that question. So, first of all, let me debunk that first statement. Everyone in our district is taught. No one is just tested. Everyone is taught and educated and nurtured, okay? We actually make sure that our children, starting from elementary school all the way through high school, have opportunities placed before them to determine what their interests are, what their passions are, We have phenomenal school counselors who meet with the children on a regular cadence to determine what pathway they want to choose. We have all kinds of career and technical education programs for our children, ranging from culinary arts to auto mechanic shop to technology, computer science, to all of the different ways, all of the different talent arts programs. We have magnet schools. We have choice programs. In a district this size, the beauty of being in a district this size is we have so many program offerings. Our children have, it's a buffet. It's a buffet. They need to just decide, where is my passion? What is my interest? What do I want to be when I grow up? What do I think I want to be? Because you and I both know sometimes in middle and high school, you don't really know. But you have an opportunity to try out so many different courses instead of taking Spanish 1 every single semester. You're told on yourself. But children in our district are so blessed to have so many opportunities laid out before them. It is our job as educators to open the door to those opportunities, and that's what we do. It is your job as the community to partner with this and show them, if they choose entrepreneurship, this is what it can look like. If they choose to work in a private foundation or in ministry or in a corporation, this is what it looks like. Your role is to partner with us in this effort. So we thank you so much for your time today. I thank you, Letitia Hensley, Renisha Black, and all of the CMS staff and board members. If you would just wave your hands, just wave your hands. This is what it looks like in our district. This is how we support each other and support our children. So thank you so much for your time this morning. Everyone have a blessed and beautiful day.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that said, give it up. CMS Family and Community Engagement. I know they have to get out of here. We're going to go into announcements right now.
And please don't leave. I want everyone to hear the announcements, okay? I mean, you all. But this has been awesome today.
Shut the doors. Close the doors.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Close the doors. Close the doors.
I wanted the first announcement was sent in by County Commissioner Yvette Townsend Ingram. And there's going to be a roundtable with Mark Jarrell and Yvette Townsend Ingram, both county commissioners. It's going to be tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. at Pauline's Tea Shop.
That's on Thursday.
I'm sorry, Thursday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Thursday morning at 10 o'clock. Okay, please come. They need to hear from you, and this is a chance to talk personally with your county commissioners. 10 o'clock Thursday morning.